is dope.
Awesome, man. What up, Levi? Gavin, what's up?
Levi's on.
Josh, what's up?
Levi must be like, where'd you go, Dad?
Oh, you guys! Oh, I'm stoked. Yeah, you guys are together. That's so tight.
So I'm so tired of distancing.
It was hard to like hold up an iPad and have Larry's face.
I know, bro. I was watching the other ones. Hella fun.
And when he does
Doing that with the battles too.
Oh,
you
yeah?
guys are doing that?
Yeah, we were doing that with the battles.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Hella.
I wish they would add another person for these.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
That was dope. Like kind of like FaceTime. On FaceTime, you can have like a bunch of people.
You can have hella people on FaceTime, huh?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna do another one of those battles?
Actually,
We have one right now, right?
we were actually planning to do one this week.
Nice.
We're gonna be switching it over to next week, just because we wanted to kind of give it some space, with everything that's going on right now with the movement. We kind of wanted to just like chill off on the battle for a little. So we decided to push it back a week, just to give people some more time to, promote whatever they can and, do whatever they can for all of this.
Dope. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where you at, right?
You can enter or what?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I ain't entering. Nah, man. I will say this, though. It was that one random class that you did that I jumped in on, and you're like, you better tell Levi and Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
That day was the first day during the pandemic that I actually got off of my butt and did something.
For real?
And the three of us, for the first time, because it was so depressing,
Yeah.
we were just like laughing and loud and
Yeah.
free. Man, that was sick, man.
Yeah.
And it was so dope that it was like one of your popping classes.
Yeah.
Or
you guys
locking
are-
classes. What up, everybody? All four of us getting down the Sickle podcast.
No, there's a bunch of people joining in. Like, there's a bunch of people jumping in.
I was just talking to Jason on the phone. He said he was gonna pop on. Is he here?
I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, come on, Jay.
Hey. I was just texting him too, actually, not too long ago.
Are you up north? Are you at Mom's place?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually at Kaleo's because the Wi-Fi is better. Every time I like try to do this kind of stuff, and I'm at my house, I always get all jacked up. So I just came to my brother's house. He lives like in the same neighborhood.
Oh, does he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think he's at work. Look at G.
Gee, yeah. I don't think we do age. Honestly.
Oh man, my bones and my knees might say differently.
That's true.
I miss you. Where you at, G? I don't even see you no more.
That means G thinks that we're old. That's
I
like
know, right?
the old people.
Well, I am. Let's be real. All right, let's start this off proper. Welcome to the 7th Sickled podcast.
Yes, sir.
You've seen our guests on shows like Ellen, America's Got Talent, and ABDC, just to name like a few.
And the Venus Male Review.
And the Venus Male Review. We have Joshua, Hazmat, Ulep.
What up, y'all? You guys need like a theme song.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dude, can somebody produce that
I
for
do.
us? Oh, you can produce it. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it's weird with IG Live. Like, it's kind of like
mix it.
Press
you gotta
play.
like, yeah, press play. maybe when we don't do IG Live, we'll have like an actual song.
Okay.
All right, you ready for some warm-up questions?
I'm nervous, but let's do it.
How tall are you?
I gotta get personal, bro.
No, that's so
I gotta
personal.
get personal.
Nah.
Oh, no. also that where like all the memes about short guys are always about me. I'm 5'5".
You ain't that short. We're like the same height.
You're right.
Favorite genre of movie?
Scary movies, easy. I'll wake
Really?
up. Sometimes I can't sleep, and it'll be like 3 a.m. and I'll just slap on a scary movie.
What about scary movies is it? I just had this conversation last night. They were saying like it's funny to them. I get scared, man.
I don't think it's funny, but I get scared, but more like jump scares. I don't like after the movie's done. I don't have trouble sleeping or anything. It's just a fun movie for me to watch. Like I like the adrenaline, I guess maybe. I don't know.
What's on the top of your list right now for scary movies?
I didn't see Midsommar. I've been trying to like find it somewhere, but it came out like last year, but I've been trying to find that like somewhere that streams it or a DVD or something. I've been trying
That one's supposed to be crazy.
Huh?
That one is supposed to be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, and I didn't get to go see it when it was out in theaters, so I'm trying to go see that.
Here's the next question. What are you currently binging on Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus, whatever it is?
Okay. I'm currently binging Blacklist. The Blacklist on Netflix, and next I'm going to be going on to Handmaid's Tale because I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that show.
We started watching that one. Handmaid's Tale. We started watching that. I personally got bored.
So Aaron?
It's a crazy world that they're introducing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was okay. Westworld is better.
That recommended it to me know me super well. Oh, look, boob. There's one of them. Casey.
Casey!
She's one of the ones that was telling me, like, you gotta watch Handmaid's Tale. You're gonna love it.
And do you like that impression, Casey?
What's your biggest fear?
I used to say swimming, but I can't say that anymore, Brent.
That's
I
right.
can't say that anymore. Tell the people why, Brent.
Oh, because he surfed now.
Oh, you took him surfing?
I tried.
I didn't take him surfing, but
Yeah.
I've met him out in the water, and he stood up on his first try. Look, the first time surfing, he stood up on like his second or third try.
That's what's up, Hazmat on the waves.
Thanks.
Yeah, hella proud of him.
So who were you with that day?
A bunch of my friends.
Nice. Who shall remain anonymous?
Right.
I'm anonymous, so I guess that's like.
Now Brent was there, and he was cheering for me. I heard him cheering when I was on the wave. I was like nervous, and I heard him cheering. I was like.
But it was so dope because it was like, is he gonna get it? Is it? And he stood up and he kept going. I was like, dude, what the heck?
How did that feel, man? How did your first wave feel?
It was sick. Oh, I was super nervous, but then like after that, I just wanted to keep I wanted to do it over and over again.
It's addicting.
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. I still gotta learn how to swim better so I don't drown when I'm out there. But once I get that, man, I'll be going out all the time.
Yeah,
but
buddy.
his fear is actually I should let you guys talk because I still don't even know. What's my biggest fear? Yeah, this is a tough one.
Was it you who didn't like balloons?
Yeah, I hate balloons.
That was you.
Yeah,
What
balloons,
about balloons? Do you not like?
I've never been able to explain that. And recently I was looking through my old pictures and there's pictures of me as a kid with balloons. I remember the first memory I have of me being scared of balloons, I was at Summer Fun, and we had this relay game, and part of it was having to run and sit on the balloon and pop it, and then I pretended that I had a sore stomach so I didn't have to do it. And I didn't tell anybody. And that's the first time I'm announcing it publicly.
I can almost guarantee that your fear of balloons may have derived from either Sonny or Jason.
Oh yeah,
Most likely.
Yeah, I would probably something to do with that. I mean, there's other things that I don't like that definitely have to do with my sports.
We should have brought up frogs though when Jason was
Oh
on
yeah,
the
because Jason don't like frogs.
or
Yeah.
chicken wings.
Oh, I don't like chicken wings either. That I got from Jay.
Man, come on, bro, you Filipino.
Yeah, but there's like the veins and the cartilage, and that stuff's like, ugh. The bones are okay, but it's like the stuff and the veins.
I get it. Yeah.
So boneless, I'm cool with the boneless.
Who's the most irritating Ulep sibling? I asked Jay this, and he said Lane.
I was his leg. He straight went for it.
Oh, I bet he just no hesitation, boom, play.
Yeah, boom.
Right away.
I have to think about this one. Well, Jason scolds me the most.
Yeah.
But it's weird, because, like, I love hanging out with him. But also, at the same time, when we're not together, I'm always getting scoldings. But, I mean, that's my fault, probably. But
You're like, bro, I'm a grown-ass man.
So I guess in that sense, it would have to be Jason.
Nice.
Oh, look, I just got a text from Jason. I wonder if he's listening.
That's funny.
Okay, no.
Who's a better popper? AJ, aka Headache, or Funky T?
Oh. Okay. Ooh. All around.
Nukan's here.
Oh, Nukan's here.
We just talked a bunch of crap about you, homie.
Didn't? No, he didn't. Made me forget my question. What was the question?
Yeah,
Funky T or Headache?
Funky T or Headache?
Oh, that's tough. And I don't ever think they battled each other either.
Oh, hey, that's
I don't
what
think
you
they
should do
ever
after
battled
this
each
next battle. Is you should do a showcase between them two.
Jay, Josh said you're the most irritating Ulep sibling. Because he's always getting scolding by you. Yeah,
But-
grown man.
And listen to the full thing. You're just hearing about that whole conversation. Because I feel like I saved my ass pretty well.
Oh man.
But let's see. Cause like it's hard. Cause I feel like AJ is more like visually like holy shit, you know, like what the fuck. But like Funky T, like he's like his foundation is just so like on point. Like you almost can't F with it, you know. Like Funky T, he has that like foundation on lock. I think in a battle, I have to give it to AJ. That's like maybe not trying to be best friends, but I mean I love Funky T too. Yeah, I would love to see that battle. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
Headache.
I would love to see that battle.
Yeah.
What is it about? Like, what's foundation? Like, when you say his foundation's on point, like, can you describe that for someone like me who's not as versed in popping foundation?
Just as far as like you could, and I'm not just talking about when he's dancing, like also. Like Funky T, he's a popper. He is a popper. Like he knows the history. He knows where it came. You know, he goes to every single gym. You know, like he could tell you anything you need to know popping. Like that's his life. You know what I mean? So you know, as far as his foundation goes, because of the knowledge he knows, I feel like, and I think that's what a lot of dancers need to understand. A lot of times things will come easier once you get to know a little more about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Once then, it kind of helps you. It kind of gives you a better understanding of what you're doing, and why you're doing it, and why people started. You know what I mean? So his foundation, as a per and as like a dancer as well, you know, is super on point. He's up to par with everything. He's super talented man. He was Hype Beast represent. We used to be in our old crew. Me, Brent, and Funky T was in it too. Hype Beast. Throwback.
Hype Beast. Cool. All right. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's jump
All right,
man.
How did you how did you start dancing? Like real quick history.
How did I start dancing? Well, I always used to like kind of like copy Jason. He was in this singing group in high school called Club Supremacy that you guys know. He was in a singing group, Club Supremacy, and like, oh man, those guys were heroes. Like, I thought they were so cool. I like, you know, like I thought Jason was famous. Like, going to all these high schools and touring, you know, damn, I want to be like that, you know. I want to do that. So that was me as like a super young kid.
How old
and
were
then,
you?
Well, I mean, I think I have like videos of me going to parties and like copying their dance moves at like the youngest, like probably 3 years old. I was like me at parties, like kind of doing their moves. Pretty cool. Like you can see, like as now that I understand dance more as an adult, I could see like I could understand musicality at that age. Like I knew when to end, like when the song was gonna cut. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, it was pretty tight to see. And then when I turned 8 years old, that's when Jason and Gerald did Hyper Squad together in Mililani Town Center. And at first, like I wanted to be like them. I didn't really want to like go take classes. I don't know. Maybe it was like me being shy or something. I don't know what it was, but I know I wasn't really into it. I know I really wanted to play soccer and sports stuff, but I took classes and then I just kind of fell in love with it and then decided like, yeah, I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life.
Did you play football?
Huh? No, I wanted to play sports, like play all sports. You know, our family was super into sports. Everyone in our family like grew up playing everything, even tennis. Kaleo played tennis. Are you guys surprised?
No,
I'm not surprised.
No, see,
He probably was a boss though.
Huh? I bet he was.
He probably was a boss.
Yeah, so he got nice glutes. But I was like, you know, it was so funny because like after I found out, I was like, oh, it makes sense now. Everything kind of like hit me. I was like, damn, that makes sense. But yeah, we just got sidetracked.
What up, Goose? Goose in the house. Goose wants your
Kaleo
stories to be
also-
on point.
Oh, hey,
Kaleo was
Goose,
a
stop.
wrestler. Kaleo can wrestle me. Come on.
Or Mystique
Is that-
can wrestle you.
Oh yeah, Mystique too. That's funny. Okay. So, how was it coming up? Like you said, like we met when you were 8 or 9. Like that's like hell far back. But then like,
Yeah.
how was it like for you coming up in the dance community? You know what I mean? Like you were just known. I mean, not just known, but you were like, oh, that's Jason's little brother, Josh. He's dope. Like, watch him. You know what I mean? Like, how was that whole experience for you?
It was cool. I mean, it was different, you know. There was like a lot of like limelight on me as a kid at times, you know, not like some kind of child celebrity, but especially because dancing wasn't big then. When I started dancing, especially for younger straight men, and Brent could tell you the same thing, or you could tell everybody too, you know, it was super rare. So I mean, at my school, I was literally the only dancer. You know, I don't even think there were girls. Actually, Celeste Respicio danced at Sabrina Star.
Nice, Celeste.
Us two, we were the only 2 dancers at our elementary school. But yeah, it was cool. You know, like I was reading my report cards. This is, and it's probably because I was reading my elementary school report cards, and the teacher's like, "Oh yeah, like Josh is very enthusiastic, very popular with the kids." Oh, that's from the dancing for sure. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, but. Sure. You know, my thing, I was Josh the dancer growing up. You know, everybody just knew me as like that kid that danced. But it was cool. It was also cool to be like, you know, whenever people would say like, yeah, Jason's little brother. Like some people wouldn't want to really like live, you know, like that. Like, oh, I'm in my brother's shadows. But I thought it was so sick. Like something to brag about because my brother's badass. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm Jason's little, hell yeah, my brother's cool as hell. But it was kind of cool, you know, to be known as Josh, Jason's little brother. You know what I mean? It was tight.
That's cool, man. At what point, you know, like, I think there's a certain degree where you automatically get grafted into the dance world here in Hawaii. But at what point were you like, damn, I'm serious about dance? Like, this isn't just Jason's, this is like my thing. Like, I'm going after it.
That happened after I got my scholarship to Steps on Broadway in New York. That's when I was like, okay, like, because I knew that there were things I wanted to do with dance. Like, I knew I wanted to, you know, perform and like work with artists and stuff like that. I didn't know if dance was what I wanted to do as like my career. You know, I knew I wanted to do it as a job, work a little bit, but didn't know I wanted to do this like at my job for the rest of my life. But it happened after, I got a scholarship. I got
How old were you at that time when you got that scholarship?
13 years old. Yeah, I was 13 years old. And then 13 or 14. I was supposed to leave right away, but we kind of talked to them, you know, because we were from Hawaii. Like, just to pick up and go leave and move to New York, it was super like around the corner. So we like asked them if you know, it did take a year for me to get up there, would the scholarship still be valid? Like, if I were to come up next year instead. And they said, yeah. So we kind of used after I got the scholarship, prepare our family, you know, to go up there. Me, Mom, and you know, Dad stayed home to, you know, to make a live so we could live up there. Yeah, that was when I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, like, forever. Like, yeah, this is what I'm here on earth for.
Yeah, for those who don't know, don't let Josh fool you. This dude is trained in technique. Like, I'm pretty sure you still got that technique too. And I know I'm just talking about like that hip hop foundational technique. I'm talking about like ballet technique.
Yeah, that all started in New York, you know. That's kind of put. I mean, it wasn't something I wanted to do, but it's something I'm glad I did. You know, it's like,
Why that?
Well, I mean, I was still young, like naive kid. I didn't want to go out and wear tights and go dance ballet. I was like a popper, you know, a b-boy at the time. Like, I didn't like, damn, I gotta go. New York's cool, but do I have to take ballet? You know, like, do I have to wear a dance belt? You know.
Yeah. But has that helped you? Do you feel like it helped you, or?
Yeah. So I'm so glad that I took ballet, and I wish I was more serious about it. I wish I actually didn't stop when I came back to Hawaii. I wish I kept it going for a little more. I mean, not like trying to be serious about it, but you know, there's some things that I wish I learned that I didn't.
That's dope. Yeah. Okay, and then
so here's another question that we prepared, and I think it kind of like jumps, but there's just like so much to cover with you, as you might or may not know. Like, a big part of the podcast is for us to not only just have conversations, but it's to inspire some of the younger generation to be a part and active and understand different aspects of the dance community. But also to encourage those that are gone and pursuing their careers, is just remind them where they come from, you know? And so we want to try and cover as much as we can with you. So we want to, the next question is, how was the transition for you when you took over Hyper Squad, right? So at 13, you go to Steps on Broadway, you come back, you're doing your thing, we're building the studio, and then all of a sudden there's a transition with Jason Newcon leaving. And then you become the director, you take over Hyper Squad. So what was that transition like for you, taking over Hyper Squad?
Super challenging. And till this day, I'm still trying to figure it out, you know? Like, I was never, ever good at school. I was never, like, super responsible. Like, I'm the dancer. Was it Josh the scholar, you know, it was Josh the dancer. So I mean, I'm still learning. It was a lot easier for me because I had dad when the transition was going on. You know, I didn't have to worry about anything, but you know, like unfortunate things happen, and like, you know, now I kind of just step up to the plate. You know, thankfully I have Alan. You know, I have people, I have Jason, who has been like there for me a lot, kind of like coaching me, you know, and telling me like the right things to do, trying to like guide me and really show me the ropes. You know, definitely feel like, you know, it was like took advantage of dad, you know, being there and just doing all that. Like it was easy for me. The transition, I mean, learning how to become a director was difficult. Besides the business side of it, you know, even like the just everything about being a director or an owner of a studio, you know, you got to change some things, you got to do things differently. So that was like a learning process. Luckily at the time, I also wasn't alone in that sense either. Casey was helping too. So it, you know, I was never alone. So I think that is why, you know, things were a little bit easy. I'm definitely like a team player. So you know, I always like having people with me where I do anything, which is why I never did like So You Think You Can Dance. You know what I mean? Like I like APC. Like I like having a crew. I like people to experience things with people rather than like going out and just doing this thing on my own. But yeah.
I love that. Let's go. Okay, so then jumping onto what you just said, so how was being on ABDC like for you, and like that whole experience?
Okay, that was like the first time I felt like I made it. Like,
wow.
Went on ABDC, like, cause we tried so many times. We auditioned for season 3. We auditioned for season 4. We got like, you know, turned around every single time. And we almost didn't even audition for season 5, but we kind of just like, we're like, guys, let's just give it one more shot. You know, we stayed at this hotel, all of us in one room at a hotel in Inglewood. Like we didn't have the money to be doing it. You know, it's our 3rd year spending, and we were young, super young. So we're still like in high school. I think Ramon is at graduation because of the auditions. Yeah, like that's down. Was he didn't even go to his high school graduation because he came up to audition.
Wow.
With us. So you know, we were young kids just trying to make it, and finally season 5 they called us back, and like, you know, like not only did we make it, but we made it far. Like we were top 3, you know, we were one step away from being in like the finals, which was a huge deal for us. And I feel like for most people from Hawaii, you know, who don't normally get the entertainment side. People, now I don't think so as much anymore. Now everybody knows not to mess with Hawaii. Like Hawaii is so talented as far as like every dance studio. Like dance is so different, but we can cover, you know, we can cover the different sections of dance, the different categories. You want dope ass industry dancers, go here. You want some dope ass freestyles, go here. Like Hawaii got really talented people, but
yeah, sure.
For 4 seasons and watching it on TV, like stepping on that stage, I remember my heart just like dropped. You know what I mean? I was just like the lights were in my face. The rest of the team was like right there with me. I was like, yo, this is it, yo. Like this is it. And that was like one of the craziest feelings for me. Yeah, and that's when I realized like, damn, I did it. We did it. Yeah, I did it.
Awesome, man. What's like what's like a takeaway or something like you learned from that whole experience?
Oof, so much. I definitely learned I needed to put more thought into my formations and not just keep like one. I look at my old routines and like everything was so flat. There was no levels. There was not too many formations. The formations that were in there were just like, you know, like band formations, so basic, simple lines. You know, like so ABDC kind of forced me to like think differently because of angles, because of this, because of that. So that what I took away from that was, or in the dance part of it was was like formations and stuff, and moments. That's what I took away as far as using it as like a skill. But I think from the experience, what I learned was like, okay, what the experience taught me was that when you do think you make it, let that feeling sink in for a little bit and then throw it away and want more. You know what I mean? Like that experience made me so hungry to do so much more with my dance. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, that was fun. Like, that was fun. That was the most fun I ever had, which is why we auditioned for America's, or we didn't, okay, which is why we did America's Got Talent. They kind of asked us to do it, but we were like, yeah, let's do it. But anyways, things like that, you know, I was like, I want to keep doing stuff like this and performing in front of audience and competing. I think that's what I love. The adrenaline of competing. Competing's like my favorite thing. I think
so how did being on America's Got Talent, how was that different from America's Best Dance Crew?
Oh, it was so different. First of all, they didn't get much. No. I'm just kidding. No, it was so different. Like, I don't know. It was just like ABDC, the experience itself was so much fun because we were like in a hotel, pretty much in lockdown. We weren't allowed to be public because like of spoilers and stuff like that. So we weren't allowed to go out much. And when we were, like, there was always like our wranglers like with their walkie-talkies. Like, you couldn't even take a crap at the stage sometimes like, without everybody knowing. Like, Josh is going to the restroom, and then I get outside and someone's by the bathroom. Like, oh, I see Josh, and like, damn, yo, like, what if I'm in there for 40 minutes? Everybody's gonna know what I was doing. So, but like, the experience itself was cool because we were all up in a hotel, only 2 people per room. So like, we took over like 2 floors. So it was, and we were on the show for 3 months. So like, it was basically like a 3-month long hotel party for young people, and like, you know, it was like, it was so much fun, you know, just like getting to know everybody from like all over the place, especially being from Hawaii because we're not surrounded with a lot of dancers. We were on the show with dancers to watch on YouTube, you know. It's like, whoa, cool, like Choreotics, I see you on YouTube all the time, like crazy, you know, like, and just getting to know them and partying with them and staying up late at night and just getting into stuff. Like the crews used to mix and mingle so much, like we wouldn't even sleep in our own room times, you know what I mean? It was so much fun to do and luckily we made it far, so we never had to leave and come back for the finale. We got to stay there the entire 3 months. So that's cool. Yeah. So that's what was so different about AGT. It wasn't as personal with the other contestants. It was like they fly you there. Like, we were there, I think, for like a day. They flew us to New York. They said, you guys, we like you on YouTube. You want to come up on Monday? It was like Thursday. We were like, shit, okay. They're like, send us a video. That's why when people, they didn't choreograph it in one day. We have the videos to prove it. Like, they're like, can you send us a video now? So we did, but it was an old routine we did and loved it. But they're like, how about one? It was a popping song. So they're like, we need a song that more people will know. And they're like, but we need another video by tomorrow. And we're like, so we have to make up an entire new like audition piece and film it and send it in before tomorrow. And we stayed up from night until Sunday and made up that Singing in the Rain routine, sent it in, and then they brought us up. But that experience was like not personal. It was just like, we were there and then we left. And then if we made it to the next episode, we'd have to wait a couple weeks, fly up for the day, do the thing, fly back. You know what I mean? It was super just like, yeah, we didn't get to do much or experience. It wasn't much of an experience, I guess you could say, besides being on the stage and like getting judged by these celebrities. But super.
Yeah. There's a couple of things when you're talking that just really highlight to me. One of the things is you said how now people know that Hawaii has a dance community that's strong, and now people recognize that. My question is, like, what do you think it is about Hawaii that creates dancers that are special? Like, what makes Hawaii unique when it comes to creating dancers?
You know, let's see. Oh, that's a tough. I mean, I would say that, you know, I would say we have really great leaders in the community, you know, as far as like the studio owners go. But I mean, there's great leaders everywhere, you know. So that's a tough one for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the way we were disciplined as children, like our upbringings, and the way, and you know, the way we put so much passion into something that we do. I don't know if it's that. But I mean, it was before I even started dancing. There were cats like Ryan Sabato, like doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like even like, and that's like industry wise. Even in the battle scene, there was already Skill Roy, part of Rocksteady Crew One, getting offered to do all these jobs. You know? Like Hawaii was dope before this generation, my generation. Like Hawaii had been dope. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where it comes. Maybe, you know, I mean, Hawaii, like the entertainment, it's, you know, blood. It's in our culture.
Oh, May's bringing it to the Hawaiians. That's what's
it's
up.
in our, I mean, it's in our. I mean, of the Polynesian cultures, you know, like that's what, like Hawaii. We had the hula, and you know, we performed. We were performing. So maybe that's where it comes from. But
what about the Filipinos?
Filipinos, man, I think they're just like kind of good. Like they can sing hella good while doing the moonwalk and also giving you like a heart transplant. Crazy. Filipinos, you know.
That's funny. True that. Straight up. So in terms of like training, so nowadays, like, you know how like you basically can take a class from anybody. You know what I mean? Like anybody. How, like, I know some studios right now like are hurting, like, because either sometimes the kids are not taking class from their own studio, or like what, but like how, like as you, the director, like how are you keeping your kids motivated or trying to get them to consistently take class with you and like keeping your enrollment up?
That honestly has been like the toughest struggle. Like you said, people can take classes literally from anybody they want, and sometimes I feel like in some cases, I mean, it's a super good opportunity for as difficult as it is for studio owners. As a dancer, what everyone's going through right now is an opportunity. You know, it's an opportunity to be able to learn from a lot of people that they wouldn't normally be able to learn from. But see, at my studio, we like I said before, I love to compete. And we train with, like, as far as our competing team, like we train. So I remind them it's a super good opportunity, but you have to make sure you get enough training in, because what we do in the studio, you know, like it's more like cool dance videos and like classes. I mean, as far as like what I try like get them into, you know, like I try to teach them the foundation of everything. Like I'll straight up get a projector and make them bring in notes, and I'll tell them where popping came from, and you know, like I straight up give lessons to my competing team. So with that, I kind of just motivate them in a sense and show them that they're going to be, I want them to continue to take these classes, but I want them to also remember like that it's important to still, even if you're not doing it every day, brush up and still come to practices. You're going to be training you know, differently than you are going to be when you're taking people's classes from the mainland. You know what I mean? Like those like, you know. So that's been the most difficult thing. I think my kids understand, and they know. You know, they know. I make them battle, and I make them like in the past couple months, I feel like I've had a battle like almost every practice. I would make somebody battle, or you know what I mean. Like I make my kids battle, so they know they don't want to like, embarrass themselves. So they're kind of forced to stay on their toes and you know, come to practice so we can brush up on our little foundation of the hip hop style. You know?
Trial by fire.
I like that though. I think
good.
that's a unique thing from you as a teacher and as a director that is unique to hype, because that's influenced by hip hop, by ciphers. That straight up comes from the hip hop world, and that's directly infused into the way that you run Hyper Squad, which I think produces a unique skill set for dancers. And I think every studio has like their unique thing they contribute to shaping dancers, but that's one of the things I've always loved about your style and what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
cool.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that's just definitely one thing that like I'm competitive naturally, but then being at Hyper Squad like boosted that competitiveness and like made me more, like you said, like made me make sure I was on my game, because I didn't know if I had to battle or not. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I mean, in our studio, like you could get called out any day by somebody for a spot. You know, like if they want, if you know what I mean, like, and that's the way I make my kids. Like, that's the most fair way I can make it. Because in a dance, it's hard to be a hip hop head and have a dance studio where you know, that's like a studio stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I try to be as fair as I can, but like, you know, when and at any studio you go to, people are gonna think they deserve that spot. So like with our team, okay, if that's what you think, like let us know, and everybody goes to the front, and then everyone sits there and watches you, and then I make them go head to head with each other, and they at the same time, and then everybody that's sitting, the dancers vote. I count to 3 and picks who they should get the spot. So I guess that's what Brent's talking about as far as staying on your toes, you know?
That's dope though, because like I'm firing off so much things in my head where it's like, on one end you talk about how you prefer doing things as a team, as a crew, and that's something that you like, and that's so contrary to a lot of people thinking that they want to be the one, they want to be the individual to stand out, but that's so different and contrary. I would argue that comes from you being a hip hop head, but also like having the opportunity for people to go one-on-one. I think that's so fascinating because there's like this scene in The Matrix, and I know I'm throwing that on my dork now, but there's a scene in The Matrix where homie, I think it's the third or second one, where Neo is like fighting that one Asian dude who protects the Oracle. Anyway, that's all the dorky stuff. But he says you don't know somebody until you fight them. And I think that's such a key thing, because that's funny, because some parents or some people would think that you're pitting people against each other and you're creating conflict. But actually what I see you doing, and because I know you, is you're actually forming bonds that are unbreakable. And actually that creates the capacity for them to fight with each other instead of against each other, which I think is just like big ups to you and
yeah, I mean, honestly, like those battles have never ended ugly. As much as both of the dancers wanted to get the spotlight, you know, it's always been a like handshake, whatever, or like they'll laugh afterwards, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a family thing, and you know, it honestly brings them closer, because it gives them a one-on-one experience that they get to share that nobody else gets to share. They had that experience with that person and that person only, so they get to like talk about it, and it's something that they can now, a story that they can now bond with and share and talk about forever, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
that's cool. And that's like life too, man. I think anybody you do life with, you end up fighting with. If you really truly are in a relationship, it's two very different people growing up in different homes, you're gonna fight. And whether that's romantic, family, even like business, you're gonna fight. And if you can show people how to fight well, and then for us, you have that added layer of like expression in the fight. And I think that's so important for a lot of people, for us as human beings at large. So
right,
that's dope.
Okay.
Do you have any hilarious or embarrassing stories? That's like one of the things, like we basically started that podcast just for this question. But everything else became philosophical, and we wanted to help the community. But really, truly, all we want to know is, did you ever pee your pants, miss a quick change, or, you know, whatever? Do you have any like backstories in your head that stand out where it's like, I wish, or I hope nobody would ever find this out, just because we love it.
There's definitely a couple routines I've done, couple costumes Jason has made me wear. That I would pray no one ever finds. I actually know of one picture that Brent has that is so embarrassing, and it's so embarrassing. You probably forgot you had the picture and don't even know what I'm talking about. But you sent me the picture, and I think it might have been like on MySpace or something. This is how long it was.
Oh, damn. Dang.
I was like, holy shit, Brent has a picture of me wearing this outfit.
I think we all have blackmail pictures.
Oh yeah.
Each other, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks to Jason. Jason's ridiculous ideas and making like the drag queen helmets and stuff, and like, oh man, like the things I used to wear, I was like, oh my god, I would never do this to my kids. Bro, straight up wearing malos, unitards. Man, we wore the craziest stuff, and that is definitely some things I would not like people to see, like routines I've done, maybe even some jobs I've done. Like some jobs are kind of silly, like that I got paid good money for, but I'm like, and then
But you can't really be mad about that one.
One cool story though. This one's kind of funny. I don't care if people know it, but it was embarrassing at the time. When I was younger, there was a blackout for concert, and I was running off stage. You know, like it was a transition. Dancers were coming on, they were leaving. Knowing me, it was probably my fault, like leaving the wrong young. Maybe like I was running off stage, and I don't know if anybody remembers Marcy Kapasug.
Shout out to Marcy, dang.
Do you remember Marcy? And Grant. Do you know Marcy, Larry? Were you there?
Heckler. You remember Marcy?
Yeah.
I was. So when I started coming around height, that was like her last year or so.
Oh, sorry. Larry was saying that was Marcy's last year with
Hold
Hype.
on, this connection.
Yeah, she started kind of like
Is that my
transitioning
connection?
out. Oh, maybe.
Oh,
Okay, you hear me now?
Okay, so I can hear you. I think I'm just super laggy. I was running off stage for the transition, and she was running on, and like she bumped me. I busted her lip, but she continued to go on to her spot, and I fell down to the yeah. Lights turned on, and then
I was at that concert.
On the yeah, that's probably one of the funny stories of me though, like performing MBH. But pants is never ripped or anything like that. Being knocked out on stage was pretty embarrassing.
That's what's up, man.
It was funny is that Shane just told this story, but he didn't know who ran into Marcy.
Yeah, so Shane, it was Josh.
Yeah, that was me. Oh shit, that's so tight.
That's crazy.
That is.
Is that the concert that Nito fell off the risers and when we did Roxanne? Do you remember that?
Yo, I don't know.
That was like a 6-foot fall.
Bro, till today, that's one of my favorite memories. Like, I remember trying, because it would happen right by me. I was posing, I was standing there. I saw everything in slow-mo. I saw his foot miss the stage and step off.
We have a dance.
Yeah, we have a dance. Boom.
Boom.
And having to try to keep a straight face after
doing Latin.
Bro, I remember, like, you know, in a class and you don't want to get in trouble,
remember.
like trying to hold in your laugh and you're like gonna get in trouble if it was like that, bro. Like tears in my eyes, like I'm like shaking on stage because I'm trying to laugh, bro. But that's one of my favorite stories, bro. Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh,
that's amazing.
Good time. That is amazing.
What is your worst and your best memory of your studio director? In this case, your older brother, who is in this chat room.
Well, I mean, my horror stories from Jason could honestly be anybody else's horror story because he didn't really treat me much different from anybody else, even though I was his brother. Even though actually I probably, yeah, he didn't really treat me any better or any worse than anybody else. I was treated like everybody else. So with that being said, everybody was afraid of Jason. Jason was a Nazi. So the horror stories literally would always, everybody could give you a horror story about Jason, and because I'm his little brother, that's probably the same story, and I probably was there when it happened. But yeah, he was scary, like, oh, bro.
What's a moment or what's a memory you have when it was like a Jason rampage where you were like, damn.
Dude, actually we have footage of it, but the highlights from one concert when he's like yelling at people, and it's just like clips of him at concert so vividly. And I remember people getting in trouble. I remember being backstage and I like heard yelling, and then I heard my, and I was just like, oh, I'm dead. And I like sprinted for my life at the stage. Where were you? Everyone's waiting for you.
I remember that.
He would do that to anybody. He didn't care how old you were.
Yeah.
So that would be the horror stories with Jason. And there's just none in particular stick out that I can necessarily say on IG Live. I have a lot of like private crazy stories that I could share of my director, aka my brother who is on here. I have a lot of crazy stories about Jason, but I don't think we should say it on live. But as far as like good moments, that one also is hard for me to pick because like as a director, I mean, he was just the best. He like as mean and scary as he was, like he was also the coolest and the funniest and the most, he was also like he was fun to be around when he was fun to be around.
Yeah.
When he went, then he would get his mutty and then boom.
That's thinking awesome.
Yeah, I will agree with you because he's fun to be around when he's fun, but when he gets that, I was like, I'm so glad I'm a guest.
Right.
Casey said it's an unspoken when Jason's going back crazy.
We should bring that out of the Instagram video. Boom. Here's a funny clip.
That's great.
Actually, I got that blackmail on me too.
Okay, we got like 6 minutes. How do you stay motivated to create and to train?
Especially now with the pandemic and all this stuff going on.
You're back. Hold on. My bad. You guys were frozen, and now it's choppy, but I think we're there.
Okay. How do you stay motivated to create and train with everything the way it is right now?
I think I feel like I've been almost choreographing more.
Oh, that white little Wi-Fi. Oh, Will saying I remember being yelled at for not having a tie on for a dress rehearsal. And Jason said, "You ruined all the shots, Will. You ruined all the shots." That's one of the hard things, having a director who also knows about video.
Yeah. So how do you've been creating more?
Yeah, I feel like I've been creating more, as much like outdoor activities as I've been doing. I feel like as far as like dancing wise, I've been just finding so much music because I have so much free time to look for it. And you know, honestly, music is what keeps me like going. If I hear a song like and I like it, I got to choreograph to it, you know? So kind of every time I hear a good song, it's like, damn, I got to go. I guess I have to do another piece. I guess I have to make up more choreography. So, I mean, music's when you keep going, music like saves lives. Also, just, one huge one is just like trying to be able like to be an outlet for someone who having a difficult time with the quarantine. I think is something that keeps me going because I know that this whole experience is different from everyone's point of view. No matter what state they're in, no matter what city they're in, everyone views on it and is affected by it differently. So being able to be an outlet for somebody to kind of just something like you were saying, Larry, you know, like you mentioned earlier about how you guys were like laughing and stuff like that after you took my class. See, that's exactly what it's things like that keep me motivated. Hearing things like that and being able to do that is what like kind of keeps me wanting to do more.
That's cool, man. Yeah, dude, I really needed that. That was a rough time. So to come out and to practice it after, that was so dope. And I think that's also a reminder for all of the choreographers that are out there. It's like, yes, people can take whoever they want, but they're gonna take from people they love and they trust. And you are that for us, you know. You were that for us in that time. The moment was just right, and the three of us took a pop and lock class like fools. And of course, Levi killed it, and me and Shano were like left in the dust.
And then did a backflip after. I was like, hey, yo, Dad, remember when you could...
He starts calling me out. You want to battle? You want to battle?
Remember when you could backflip, Dad?
Oh, man.
Oh, you could flare and everything. Remember your flares?
I do. I remember his flares.
Oh, man. I wish I still could.
Can.
What would you say? I mean, there's two questions. We always ask your advice, but before you do that, maybe real quickly, what would you say for someone like me that's old, washed up, used to be good? Like, what's our entryway back in? Like, how do we, you know, what should we do? Because especially we talk about dance and all this with the podcast, like, how would you inspire some OGs?
The trick is to not make them seem like they're being forced to do it. It's like I did with you, like, hey, take the class back. Like, you know what I mean? Just joke around a little bit.
Do that.
Once they do it, they remember. It's they got to get a taste of it to remember what it was like to want to come back. Because sometimes, like, we get these old dancers that will come back and take a class, and the next thing you know, they come like almost once a week. You know what I mean? And it's just getting that little bit of a taste. You know, like how we had Ramones and Katie just teach a class, you know, on a
shout out.
Like I talked to them and they loved it. You know, they had a good time. So it's just, you know, one day maybe we're the gang back together, go do Quad LA again. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Senior citizens category.
Okay, we got like 1 minute. What you got? Dang. Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna have to bring you on because this 1 hour thing is just not enough with you.
Quick.
It's so
but
quick.
we have too much stuff to talk about, the three of us.
Yeah, but it's good.
Know,
it's good.
For like just 1 hour, like we
Well, it's like that for every single one.
Every
it's
single
like
one.
again.
Yeah. It's good though.
I feel like we cannot exhaust the stories, you know, here.
1 hour is good for people to watch, but maybe part 2 is definitely needed.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna have to do a part 2. But thank you so much for doing this. We hella appreciate it. We always like talking with you because
Heck yeah, man. Let's talk in person soon because I miss you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah, we'll definitely talk in person. Where can people follow you? Real quick.
What happened?
Where can people follow you? You got 10 seconds.
Follow my dance studio, Hyper Squad for Life. You know, we got a lot of things that we're going to be announcing, so just please follow us and stay updated with what's going on.